make it.
I got it. It's operator error.
Oh, it's not.
Right here. It gets these 26.
You've got the wrong day on.
Oh, sure it is. That's okay.
No? That's awful.
Yeah, it's the 26th. Why is that?
Our computers won't pull up today's agenda.
What's going on with mine?
We can't get any of them.
It's there. It pulls it up, does that. You can do it.
We've got a little technical difficulty. We'll start here in just a moment.
That'll work.
Hold on some more.
Redundancy, I love it.
I didn't get to the website, but that's okay, I'm all right.
It's just on the homepage of the main website.
Is that, okay. I can pull it up on my phone.
Okay.
Very good. We'd like to call this meeting to order. This is the Weber County Commission meeting, April 2nd, 2019. We welcome you all here today. It's good to have you all. The Pledge of Allegiance will be presented today by Brandon Braden Felix, thoughted today by Commissioner Harvey, and we have no prayer today. I'll offer the prayer. Let's go to that point. Well, I guess the invocations first, so I'll do that first. Our Heavenly Father, as we come forward this day, we give you thanks for the blessings we receive as citizens of this fine county. We pray thy Spirit will attend us this day in this meeting as we decide to make decisions and work with each other, and we pray for that thou guide and direct us. We do this in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
All right, pledge.
Let's stand and recite the Pledge of Allegiance.
Commissioner Harvey.
Mr. Chair, I was reading some things from Abraham Lincoln, which I don't usually go back that far. Well, it depends on the read. Sometimes I go back farther, but it just depends. But he was, as he was trying to make sense of his presidency and equal rights, he was talking to one of the aides in the White House press room, and the aides told him where I'm studying engineering and civil engineering and planning. And Abraham Lincoln said, well, then you must be familiar with Euclid's axioms and common notions. And those are not 3 words that I think we often use in the English language. And basically, Euclid's first common notion is that things that are equal to the same thing are equal to each other. Things that are equal to the same thing are equal to each other. And it's, he says, that's a rule of mathematics, and it's true because it works. It has done always, and it always will work. And as I've thought about that for the last 2 or 3 weeks, I've written it down. He also went on to write, he says that's self-evident, with malice towards none, and charity towards all. And I can tell you, the men that I've really grown to appreciate and respect are those who have malice towards none and charity towards all. I'll leave it there.
Very good. Well said. Thank you, Commissioner. All right, we'll now go to the public comments portion of the meeting. Are there those who are here today to make public comments to the commission? Feel free to stand up and come forward and introduce yourself, and we'll be glad to hear from you. I'm a little surprised. It's a pretty good crowd here today. I thought somebody'd stand up. Okay, we'll go to the next item. We have a presentation today from Your Community Connection, and Julie Smith's here to do it. Julie, welcome. Good to have you here today.
Thank you, and it's good to be here. First of all, I'd just like to thank you, gentlemen, for the fantastic job that you do. I don't think many of us appreciate all the, what shall I say, challenges that you have. And just thank you for caring so much about the citizens of Weber County. So appreciate it. And I'm here today to talk to you about helping some of the most vulnerable. As you know, YCC provides services for domestic violence, sexual assault victims, and those that are homeless. And it's pretty scary when you think about what some of these people have been through. And I have to say, we had a situation where we had a mother come in, and she had a baby that was about 3 weeks old, and then a young child that was probably about 3 years old. Anyway, she'd been told by her husband that because the baby had some issues, was born with some disabilities, that either she did away with him or he would. And so she had come to us, of course, for help. And so I was privileged to be able to sit and feed that baby while they did the intake on her and took her into safe shelter. And to see the vulnerability of this family, and it just scares me to think what would happen to them if we weren't there. What would be the outcome? As I'm sure you've read, we've had several instances of domestic violence in Weber County in the last month or so. And 3 people are dead as a result of it. Last year, 45% of the homicides in Utah were domestic violence related. And out of those, 4 were 2 or younger. And I don't know about you, but babies speak to my heart. Children speak to my heart. And I just think they deserve a childhood. I think they deserve to be safe. And one of the major causes of homelessness is also domestic violence. 40% of those that are homeless are there because of domestic violence. Once again, I thank you because you provided us with money last year, $50,000, to help house these people. And because of you, we were able to help 92 households to have the help that they needed to stay housed. And that is so vital, so very important, because I don't think we realize how scary it is for some of these families. We had a child come into our child care crying because he hadn't eaten since the day before when he was there. And we said, what is with this? You know, I don't know about you, but I take for granted that there's food. You know, you go to the fridge, you go to the cupboard, and they had been living in their car. And there was no food. And so we immediately started to work with them and to make sure that they had food and then to look into the housing. You gentlemen have made it so that we are able to provide so much more to these people that are homeless. As you can see on the paper, 2,098 hours of intensive management for homeless newly placed households. And that means so much. We are hooking them up with resources. We have our homeless housing in the back, and those apartments are filled with the people that need those services. And it just thrills me to be able to know that they're in a safe place. We made housing deposits for 11 households, and that means they got to stay where they were at. They were not evicted. And to me, that is important if we can lend stability. 1,333 bus tokens. And I know bus tokens don't seem like that big of a deal, but they are to those people that need to get somewhere. I've told you about the family that came in that was so terrified, and the children were just clinging to their mother. And they were so grateful we could take them into our shelter. Well, guess what? They needed to get to court and to get the children to school bus tokens. That a lot of us think, you know, you go out and you hop in your car. Well, what do you do if there's no car? And you need to get some places fast. And this family came down the elevator, and this little girl ran up to me and wanted to know where Ian was, her case manager. And that was because they needed the bus tokens. Thank you so much for helping us make sure that they are available. 150 $10 gas cards. There are some people that do have their own vehicles, and because of you, we were able to supply 150 of them with gas cards. Once again, I have to say thank you. Thank you for caring about the people in Weber County that are so vulnerable. Now I would like to ask you if you have any questions that I could answer.
Commissioners, any questions for Julie?
Julie, please. You've made this about your community connection, the YCC. How many years have you been there?
8. And I have 3 more days. And I promise I won't come back and bug you next year.
Commissioner?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay?
Julie, you've done a great job.
Incredible.
Yeah, we want to congratulate you on your retirement. And as far as I know, we're going to continue to do what we've done in the past.
Thank you so much.
You bet.
It's folks like you that have made my job amazing. It really is, because I'll tell you what, the payday is to see these people succeed. I had a young lady come in, and she could not believe that she had a good job and that she had her own place. And her tears said it all. That this was what she wanted for her. She had 3 children. This is what she wanted for her future. And like I said, Weber County is the best place to live, period, end. And I just want to thank you for making it such a fantastic place.
Go ahead, Gage.
Thank you. Julie, I just want to tell you thanks. I know that people down in the legislature are going to miss you. We're going to miss you. What you've done for this community is truly fantastic. I was actually through your facility, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago it runs, when we did the addition, when you did the addition and added the extra rooms, which I thought was a very good opportunity for Ogden City and Weber County. But I don't think that a lot of people in the community understand and know what you've done for these individuals that need our support and help the most. And what you do with these individuals is give them the opportunities to succeed, get back on their feet, get out in the community, and be producing community members. So that is why your program is so valuable. That's why I will always vote to continue it, because we're using community taxpayer dollars in the right method to help these individuals to get out and be productive. So again, thank you very much for what you do.
And it's a team effort. We couldn't do it without you. So thank you so much, really.
Thank you. We appreciate that, Julie. It's nice seeing you today. And once again, congratulations on your retirement.
Thank you.
You bet. I didn't think you could retire as early, as young as you are.
Oh, don't get your glasses changed, okay? Really appreciate it.
All right, consent items today. For approval, request for approval of warrants 1742 through 1750 and 438007 through 438153 in the amount of $1,335,146. Request for approval of purchase orders in the amount of $48,204. Request for approval of minutes. Request for business license approval. Request for new beer license approval. Request for the Weber County Sheriff's Office approval to surplus radios. We've been purchasing new radios for them lately, and these are they're extras that they're going to surplus now that don't meet the current approval. Request for approval of a road dedication in the Glen Shannon subdivision, a one-lot subdivision located at 3100 South and 5100 West in West Weber. And finally, a request for approval to dedicate an area in front of the access strip for Franke Estates subdivision to Weber County located at 3600 West Street. That's a public right-of-way. Anyway, questions on those? Ricky, do you want to give us a rundown on those warrants?
Be happy to. Let's start with the purchase orders. We issued 13 purchase orders this week for about $48,000. 30% of that amount, or $15,000, is for the jail, and that's the annual service agreement for their scanner as well as inmate items from Bob Barker Corporation. 29%, or $14,000, is for our Homeland Security, and that will go towards purchasing helmets and earmuffs. As far as checks, we wrote 156 checks this week for $1.3 million. 58% of that amount, $779,000, was for employee health and dental insurance. 11%, or $153,000, was for our fleet department. That was to purchase 2 trucks and then make modifications to trucks that are coming on board with the sheriff's office. And then 9%, or $117,000, is for Weber Human Services, and that was our monthly contribution.
Very good. Commissioners, any questions or
I have
none?
Motion to approve consent. If you're ready for a motion, Commissioner.
I'm ready.
Motion to approve consent items as presented. Items G like golf 1 through 8.
Very good.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? It was unanimous. Thank you. Action items. H1, request for approval of an interlocal agreement by and between Weber County and the Uinta City to participate in the funding of the Golden Spike Storm Drain Coalition and provide funding for the hire of a professional manager. Braden Felix. Braden,
Good morning.
how are you?
Morning.
Doing well. How are you?
Good.
Good. This is the next municipality to enter into this agreement with us. This is going to be number 10 of 15. We still have 5 more to go.
You've made some good progress towards this. This is a good thing.
Yeah.
I don't have any questions.
Oh, Commissioner?
Don't need them. You ready for a motion?
Yeah, I'm ready for a motion.
Mr. Chair, I would move to approve action item H1, request for approval of the interlocal agreements between Weber County and Uinta City.
Very
I'll
good.
second that motion.
Motion and
Resolution
second.
25. Commissioner Harvey,
Aye.
Commissioner Farrar,
Aye.
and Chair Jenkins.
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, item H2 has been pulled from the agenda. They've asked this to be put on next week, so sorry if any of you came for that. I should have announced that earlier, but I didn't. Okay, next item is request for approval of a contract by and between Weber County and the Golden Spike Gem and Mineral Society for a donation of tables from the Golden Mineral Society of the Golden Spike Event Center. Duncan?
Good morning, Commissioners. I think I say this every time, but I'm excited about this one. The Gem and Mineral Society, they came to us about a year ago, and they proposed a trade, being able to buy us a bunch of lifetime tables, and in exchange of being able to use them with no charge. With our current inventory, this is going to be a huge boost for us to get 100 brand new lifetime tables. We've worked with Chris to make sure that we had everything in line, and so we'll end up having the 100 tables. They'll be able to use them when they come in for their show, and we'll be able to rent them out and use them throughout the year. And so it's a really good trade for both of us. The table usually ends up costing about $5 per table when they come, but it's going to be a good trade.
Questions, Commissioner?
I can explain this just a little bit too. Sometimes these nonprofits or these organizations become, their fund balance becomes quite high. And by statute, they have to liquidate some of their funds. And in some of these cases, we've done partnerships, public-private. We would own the tables.
Yeah.
They are donated to the Golden Spike.
Correct.
And in many cases, some of our contracts, we would waive the fees for tables anyway. So, but this is a customer that we would always charge. The rate based on the tables, it looks like it's about just what I've seen, about a 12 or 13 year, before
12 years.
Yeah, so it's a really good thing for the county. Plus, we'll be able to earn income off those tables because they'll be donated, and they get to spend down their fund balance. And so this to me is great policy. It affords us an opportunity to make money off those and yet keep a customer. And by the way, I'll just say with this particular group, they're the ones, I believe they bring in about 6,000 fifth graders every year.
Yeah.
To study gems and minerals, because in the fifth grade class you have to do that type of work for our elementaries around here. So we're bringing more people in a different use out to the fairgrounds. It's really a great thing to involve the youth, and yet here they're giving back because they recognize the value. And this has been a great home for them for almost a couple of decades now. It's really a fascinating.
It's true, and we'll be able to eliminate some of the duct tape tables that are being held together.
They get used up for sure.
Great. Any other questions, Commissioners? I'm ready for a motion.
I'll entertain a motion then, if you're ready, Mr. Chair, that we approve the contract by and between Weber County and the Golden Spike Gem and Mineral Society for the donation of tables for the Golden Spike Mineral Society show at the Golden Spike Event Center.
Second.
All right, I have motion and second. No more comments. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Unopposed, you bet, Duncan. Appreciate that very much. Commissioner comments. Either of you care to jump in here? Go ahead, Gage.
Sure, thank you. Mr. Chair, I would just like to make a comment. This morning we had a department head meeting over at the Eccles Conference Center, and I was just would be remiss if I didn't tell the citizens of Weber County what a great group of employees, staff members that we have here in Weber County. We talked about a culture change in the county, and I can see that's taking place in every department throughout this, that they're putting the public interest first, they're putting themselves second, they're putting the taxpayer dollars at the very forefront, and customer service throughout the county. And we hear that from these department heads, and it appears, at least from my viewpoint, that that's a culture that's being passed through to every employee, and the employees that want to make Weber County their careers for the future, for what that's going to do for their families, and more importantly, what it's going to do for the citizens in Weber County. So I just wanted to express my appreciation for everybody that works for Weber County and the culture change, what we see taking place in this county. And I'm excited about the future of what is coming about in this county that we're going to see over the next number of years. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
You bet. Thank you. Anything?
No, it's just, for me, going through this first legislative session with the two of you, it's kind of like, I'll just tell you from outsider's perspective now being here, it was kind of like walking into rooms with past student body presidents. It was like, boy, and talk about being able to contribute and do good for Weber County. It was really, really an honor to be with these two gentlemen. And I appreciate what you've taught me and the things I've gleaned from just the interactions and the involvement. We're doing some really awesome stuff as a team. This is the best. This is the best team that's happened in a long, long time. It's really, really great to be a part of.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. You know, yesterday I had a chance to drive up to Summit and see what's happening up there. And of course, you know, it was a tough winter this year. They had a lot of snow and a lot of blowing up there. So we've got a 3-mile road there that we have to keep open. And it's interesting to look at that now. Is this finally warm enough? It was 33 degrees when I was up there, and the snow you can see starting to melt a little bit. And you can see where we've been. I got out of the car and watched how far. You can see how far up the hill we were throwing the snow. And, you know, that's got to be 35 or 40 feet higher than the road is. And that machine we have throws it way up above it there. Then the wind comes and blows it back on it. Then we blow it back out. It's a tough detail for the county and what we do there. A little surprised you look at all that. I counted the cars in the driveway in the parking lot. There were about 95. So, you know, the ski season's coming to an end, and I think we finally broke the back of winter. So here we go. We're getting ready to have spring. So I don't know about you guys, but I'm looking forward to that in the county. We've got a lot going this year. It'll be fun to see us get back our parks and recreations. They announced this morning that they're grubbing the site over there for our new archery range building, indoor archery range building. So there's a lot happening in the county right now. It's fun to be part of it all. All right. Well, that's all I've got to say. So with that, we're ready to adjourn. Can I get a motion?
Motion to adjourn, Mr. Chair.
Second. Okay, all fair say aye. Aye. We are adjourned. Thank you.